Hello. I just got back from a team retreat in Florida and figured I would give you guys my best business takeaways from the retreat. So, side note, one of the things that I kept hearing at the retreat is that I have teammates that have listened or currently listen to this podcast. So, hey, shout out to you guys if you're listening. But I got a lot of feedback that they like the shorter episodes. And I have been recording episodes like 15, 20 minutes, typically, sometimes shorter, but they like them short. So we'll see. I'm going to try to get through these as quickly as possible. I may have to break it up into 2 episodes. So here we go. I just spent 3 days in amazing Sarasota, Florida with 60 teammates. These are all people who my upline sponsored the retreat, Sarah Hill, who's incredible. And she organized it and opened it up for anyone to go. And she's got an enormous team. I don't even know how many. It's huge. 60 of us came, which is really interesting. Like, granted, it's December. This is definitely a tough year. Some people are, like money and time and sacrifice. Like, it's definitely a sacrifice. And we'll talk about that in a second as well. It's a sacrifice to go on one of these trips, and not everyone can make it. And I totally get that. But what is so fascinating is out of that like enormous team, 60 of us were there, right? Which at first you could be like, that's, maybe less than ideal for a turnout. However, it's the people who wanted to be there, right? And obviously there were other people who wanted to be there that couldn't. I'm not necessarily talking about that, but I mean, it's the people who are desperately committed to their business. It was such an incredible time. I had the best time. I also stayed like a day in the beginning and then almost a full day at the end just to kind of decompress before and after too. So for me, it was a good 5 days of just socializing and business discussions. And so I just want to recap a couple of the really good discussions. There is no way that I can cram 5 days of learning into a podcast, but I'll give you a couple of really good highlights. One of the things that Sarah said in the beginning is it is the mentally strong people who survive in this business. And that stuck with me. I wrote it down that it is the mentally strong people who survive in this business, because let me know if this resonates with you. You've probably had a situation where something is not going right, or you've had maybe a down month or maybe a stretch of down months, and you start to get into doubt and frustration, and you start to question your ability. It is times like that when your personal development, your self-awareness, your ability to stick with your vision, and your ability to rely on your teammates comes in handy. It's just that mental strength that you have to build up over time that comes from lots of different places. It probably comes from other sources as well. But that mental strength that you continuously practice and build up is going to serve you when things get hard. What happens is most people quit before they succeed. There are so many people that I've recruited that quit before they succeeded, and I know they have the ability to make it happen. They just couldn't, for whatever reason, didn't want to, didn't have the vision, whatever it is. But those of you who stick with it, it's inevitable. It is inevitable if you don't quit. So only the mentally strong survive. Pat yourself on the back if you're still going. Number 2, it's up to you to create the community that you want. Now, I am super guilty of this, and one of the reasons why I wrote this down as a big takeaway for me is as a reminder that you can't sit passively by and accidentally stumble upon a group of fabulous people. It just doesn't happen. Maybe someone it happens to, but not me. I moved from Washington, D.C. to San Antonio in the middle of 2020. And although I did know a couple people that do live here in San Antonio, it was the middle of the pandemic when I moved here and nobody was socializing. And the last 2 years have been really difficult for me to make a close network here. But I'm sticking with it, and it is finally paying off. I have finally found friends that are awesome, that kind of fit my vibe, that I really relate to on multiple levels, and I'm purposely building that community. I am volunteering, I am socializing, I am doing hobbies and things that I love, I am networking on social media, I am inviting people to dinners and coffees and all sorts of things, and that all pays off, whether it's in your personal life or your business. So it's really up to you to not just sit back and hope that one day you'll stumble on some pre-existing amazing community. It's really up to you to build it. And this goes again for your social life and your business life. If you are looking for a team that has certain characteristics, that's a calling for you to build that team and for you to be the leader with those characteristics. So I hope that encourages you to step out of your comfort zone and really focus on building community. Number 3, I touched on this a little bit at the front, but going to events requires a lot of sacrifice, and it is always worth it. Always worth it. Anytime I've ever been to a physical event for my network marketing business, or even just a social event in general that's business oriented, it's always been worth it. I am so grateful that I can build my business on social media, Zoom, Instagram, etc. But it's also somewhat difficult to make deep connections. It's easy to make surface level connections and say that someone's your friend, but it really takes spending time with that friend and having conversations to make a deeper connection and get to know people. And so being in person with your team is so important. If you are in network marketing, one of the things that Eric Worre always talks about is that the more you promote events and get people to events, the bigger your paycheck will be, because people will get energy, people will get business ideas, they will get refreshed, they will plug into kind of, motivation and all of the things that really just revitalize you and give you new ideas for your business. And that will directly impact your paycheck for sure. So it's never easy to set aside family and time and money and energy and overcome all these hurdles to get to an event, but it's always worth it. Always, always worth it. Next takeaway is there is so much money to be made online. One of the things that I love is our team is big on leveraging social media to make money in any way that you can. We are all in network marketing, but most of us also have some sort of affiliate marketing, something, we promote a different product that, some people promote clothing, whatever, all sorts of things, right? I'm a coach, so I do coaching, I sell digital products, but there is so much money to be made online that if you are struggling or for whatever reason your network marketing money is not where you want it to be yet, that doesn't necessarily mean you can't also do something else concurrently. Now, I'm going to put like a big asterisk on this, that if you can't focus on making money in your network marketing company right now, oftentimes I will coach people to just focus on one thing because you can't climb 2 mountains at once. But if you're doing network marketing and you also want to sell your clothes on Poshmark or put together an Amazon storefront and do some affiliate marketing for yourself or sell some simple stuff on Etsy or whatever it is, thrift things and sell them on Facebook Marketplace. Typically, that's something that most people can find the time to do when they need money, right? So we talked so much about how to build just streams of income online because, and this is kind of a bigger purpose, making money online isn't necessarily about the money directly. The money is great. I love money. I love talking about money. But the money is a tool that allows you to do other things. And the money is really a tool that allows you to spend time doing things that you prefer or spend time in a way that is more aligned with what lights you up. It gives you options. Money gives you options. And so if you can build money in multiple different ways, by all means, do it. Like, definitely do it. Now, an Amazon storefront is not going to get you rich, right? It's not going to pay your mortgage unless you're some mega influencer, and most of us are not. So this is, small beans compared to what you can make in affiliate marketing relationships and brand relationships and network marketing, really. That's by far the biggest potential. But if you're like me, I also do online coaching. You could do social media management. You could do user-generated content and sell it to brands. There's so many ways you can do it. I monetize my Reels. Like, I'm already promoting my business and things on Reels, so I might as well monetize my Reels anyway. So I make about nothing much, but like $100 a month at least on Reels. So that's $100 that I didn't have. Like, why not, right? So again, there's just so much money to be made online. Get creative, encourage your family to get creative, your friends to get creative. And maybe you've got friends who don't necessarily want to join you in your business, but they do want to partner up with you on something else. By all means, go for it. Okay, next takeaway. We spent a lot of time talking about social media growth, and everybody in the room, no matter if they had a small audience or a big audience, has struggled with growing at the level that we used to grow on social media organically. So you're probably in the same boat. I don't ever really stress about it, but what we all have kind of independently come to the conclusion of is that we are going to have to drive traffic from other platforms if we want to grow on Instagram. You can drive traffic to Instagram from TikTok, a blog, a podcast, being interviewed on a podcast, YouTube, Pinterest, Facebook. Like there's so many ways that you can point people to your Instagram if Instagram happens to be the platform that you use. Similarly, you can drive traffic from Instagram to other places, to your YouTube, to your TikTok, to your blog, to your podcast, to your email list, whatever it is. But having multiple ways to contact people and really ultimately an email list is going to be key in the future. I'm actually starting back up on blogging again. I've been emailing more frequently. I have thousands of people on my email list. And so, God forbid, if something ever happens to my social, that I still have some way to contact not only my customers, but also lots of prospects and keep in contact with my audience that I've built. Okay, and my last takeaway is such a good one. Be a visionary for other people who can't see it yet. Okay, so I'm going to talk first about customers and people who you sell to, and then people who are your teammates. So let's talk about customers. I talk about storytelling a lot, and I think telling stories is the best way to build know, like, and trust, build authority, build credibility, and then also make sales. It's just the best for everything. In telling stories, you can tell stories about what your future customers' life will be like after they use your product. So a quick example would be, I promote hair care. Can you imagine how it would feel to really feel confident about your hair? Like, can you imagine no split ends? You don't wake up and deal with frizz. You don't stress out about all the things that you currently hate about your hair. Can you imagine what that's going to feel like? It's going to feel so good, right? Just paint a picture of what a vision could look like. You can do the same with makeup and skincare and, basically anything, right? Anything. Similarly, you can also do this with your team. And we heard stories from multiple leaders who said that a lot of the reason why they stayed and why they had the mental strength to withstand the tough times is because their leaders helped them by pulling them out of the small things that they were worried about, the temporary things that they were worried about in their business, and reminded them of the bigger picture and why they started. So things like, can you imagine where you'll be a year from now if you just keep going? Can you imagine what your paycheck feels like? Or, can you imagine what it's going to feel like when you hit XYZ rank and what that's going to do for your family and what that's going to give you? So you could paint a very vivid picture of what success will be like and look like for that person and inspire them to keep going or just, persevere through the hard times that we all have. We're all human. Business isn't always, sunshine and unicorns and rainbows all the time. So you can help someone really see the future, and that just may be the thing that keeps them going. So those are just a couple things that I learned and that we talked about and that I thought were really helpful from our business retreat. I am just so grateful if you are listening and you were there. I love you, and I'm so glad we had a chance to really get to know each other. I am so grateful. I hope that if you have in your situation an opportunity to do something like this, that you seize the day and really move mountains and make sacrifices to be there, because spending time with people that you care about and that are supportive of you is something that we all need more of, especially nowadays. So, one last thing before I go. If you are not on my email list, I would encourage you to go to the show notes today. Just go ahead and click on whatever podcast app you are listening to, take a look at the notes, and go ahead and download my caption worksheet. Even if you don't even care about captions, download it anyway. That will put you on my email list, and you are going to get not only just notes from me, but new things, courses, coaching opportunities, business advice, all the things that I like to email out. Sometimes I talk about just my favorite clothes and products. I talk about whatever I feel like. But hopefully something in there will inspire you and keep us connected. I would love to stay in contact with you. So if you liked this episode, feel free to screenshot this, tag me, and upload it to your Instagram stories or wherever you hang out on social media. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.